Well, good morning, everyone. Yep, I've been gone for a while. And in this video, I'm going to explain what happened. But before I get to that, doing a little experiment today, I actually bought the Lumix DMW-DMS1 microphone. And I'm recording on that now out here in the studio in the woods. And the reason I did this is that the papers have... more and more they have asked me to record video on particular stories, and if I put a mic, a conventional mic, I mean, I have a shotgun mic, it's a Movo, Rode knockoff, wasn't very expensive, decent sound quality, but you got to plug it into the mic socket. And I do have a stereo mic as well. The Movo is a mono mic. Stereo mic is an Adsense MX10 that I actually bought when I bought the Canon 5D Mark II because it would do video. But I'm just tired of having those wires sticking in the mic socket. Plus, I'm always worried about something happening if you bump it too hard and damaging the mic socket. So with this microphone, it's on the hot shoe, and comes in right through the hot shoe. And the only thing is, this is on a G9 Mark II, and you don't get the 32-bit float audio. But I've never really seen that I've had a problem with getting my levels right. So one thing, you do need to adjust the levels on the microphone. You cannot do it from the camera when you have the microphone in the hot shoe, which makes sense because that level control in the camera is for the mic socket. Anyway, as to what happened here, I got demonetized. And it wasn't something that I did content-wise. I'm very careful about that. Just not putting up anything that's going to cause issues as far as that's concerned. However, what happened was when I set up my Adsense account originally, and that was a while back. I think it was even before. I mean, I had a YouTube channel, and I wasn't really doing videos, just putting up, just random stuff. No, nothing like this. Just something I'd see. And when I set that up, I did have the funds that it generated go into our S-Corp's business account at the bank. But also what I did, and this was a mistake, wasn't thinking about it, is I set that AdSense account up under my Social Security number. Now with the bank, it wasn't an issue because the bank, already had told me that, if you get a check and it's made out to you personally, you can deposit it in the business account. You can't do vice versa, obviously. But, if somebody writes me a check and they make a mistake and they make it out to me personally, I can still put it into the business account without having to go back to them and say, hey, I need you to write a different check made out to the business. This year, after our taxes got done, my accountant called me and said, hey, that YouTube money, it's coming in, but it's coming in under your Social Security number, right? Because YouTube sends you, I don't remember if it's a 1099 or another form, but, at the end of the tax year, you get a form from YouTube that says how much money you have made, and they also send that form to the IRS, so the IRS knows that. But my accountant said, no, you need to change that so it comes in under your employer identification number, your federal employer identification number, also known as FEIN, because the fact that there's a discrepancy could be an issue with YouTube. Should I ever get audited, or we ever get audited, which probably isn't something that's going to happen. But you cannot change an existing AdSense account in that manner. You can't go in and change it from your social to your FEIN. So I had to set up an entirely new AdSense account. And when you do that, you have to verify to YouTube that the FEIN that you're using, you are authorized to use that FEIN. They need you to verify your identity. And that turned into kind of a can of worms because all of my documentation on this was old. So it had old addresses and so on. And you have to have your current information. You can't just get that stuff off the IRS website. You have to have an IRS account. So you have to set that up. And you have to do that when you first set up an IRS account at irs.gov. You set up a personal account under your Social Security number. And then once you have that done, then you got to go over to the business side. So you go to, it's just a way to navigate to business. But you have to verify, again, with the IRS that you are authorized to access your company's business information. And the way you do that is you fill out an authorization. You have to be an officer of the company or the owner, or there's a few other things that you can be to get that authorization. So you have to provide your information, and you have to provide your corporate mailing address. So we don't have anything sent to our house, our condo. That all goes to a UPS store box. And once you do that, they will send you snail mail a PIN, personal identification number. And that takes about a week, right? So you get that. You go back to the IRS website with that. You go back to your, application, pop the PIN into the field, and boom, you now can get to your business information. But once you do that and you get into the IRS business side, you can get an FEIN confirmation. It's called a transcript. And you can download that as a PDF. And once you have that, you can go into your AdSense account, because my AdSense account was nagging me. You got to verify. And they finally stopped showing ads. They said, we're not going to show ads on your channel anymore because you need to verify this. And admittedly, I kind of forgot about it. So it probably went longer than it should have. But, once you have that authorization, you go into the verification. Just, it's in your YouTube Studio. When you click Earn, you can click over to AdSense, and then you can upload that form to YouTube. And I did that, and a day later, boom, I'm back to being monetized. So that's pretty much what happened. And I just thought I'd share, just in case you're thinking about setting up a YouTube account, and you're going to do AdSense, and you have some sort of corporate entity, S Corp, LLC, whatever. I'm sure in other countries there are similar things. So, you have to check your country's rules. But when you're setting up your AdSense, if you're going to use a business name, you have to have the business information. And it's probably best to get a federal, if you're just a sole proprietor, you should probably get an FEIN. Our accountant wanted us to do that and get an S Corp. So now we're all hunky-dory. I'm back. I've got more videos that I'm going to be doing. Do a little follow-up video on this microphone. See how this sounds out here in the woods. I have it set to the narrow mono, so it's kind of supposed to screen out everything outside a pretty narrow cone. The only thing that I think is, like, right now we have no planes going over. So whatever the pattern is at O'Hare, it's not coming this way. But because those mics on this microphone, there's 4 of them, I believe, they point straight up. So there's no way that it's going to keep a jet from getting into your audio if it's going right overhead. Well, that's it for now. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. If it's useful to you, pop the like button. It's a big help with the algorithm. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you in the next video.